Hey Sakya, hey Kurina, nice to meet you. Welcome to We Love Travel. It's so good to have you finally here. And I know you too, and I know your story, but maybe you can introduce yourself.
Sure. Couple of years ago, I was learning for my final exams for medicine. And you know how it is when you learn for exams. You Google a lot, you surf a lot, and you're a lot on Facebook as well. And I was planning a trip after my exams, and I wanted to go alone, solo female traveler. And so I joined a Facebook group called the Travelettes. It is a group that women exchange infos and exchange stories about traveling. And one day, Sakia wrote into the group.
What did you write?
So basically, what I face in my country is like we are not allowed to travel unless we get married. And our society tells us, especially my mom, was like, if you don't get married and if you don't have a male companion or male partner, you cannot get out of the house and travel. And I posted that if anyone comes to Bangladesh, I would really love to go and travel with you, because Travelers was a female group and my mom would not make an issue if I traveled with a female. If it was a male, I would not be allowed.
So, and you, Corinna, you came as an experienced traveler, but you didn't know anything about Bangladesh, I think. So who learned more on your journey?
Traveling with someone from the country is a whole new deal compared to the traveling in your Western bubble thing, if you can say so. And I learned about culture, I learned about the nature, and the different problems other females confront. So I learned a lot with Sakia and from all her friends.
And Sakia, you said traveling is not only dangerous for women, but forbidden to travel alone as a woman. Why is that?
It depends on the family more and the society more. In the cities, it is quite liberal. Right now, it is quite liberal. I feel like that, especially in the capital. But outside the capital, in the whole country, there's still, I feel like that the women are not having the right to travel and they don't have economic freedom as well, which I think may lead to this conservative society thing. And though I feel like though we are Muslim, we are not that conservative, but in this case that women needs to go out there, like kind of like smash us, and we feel suffocated as a lot, and then we cannot go outside the house. I mean, you can only go out if you have your husband with you.
And why was traveling so important for you? Why did you want to go so much?
I really wanted to see beautiful Bangladesh that I read of. I mean, whenever we were kids, we learned about our history, about our country, but I was not allowed to just go outside of the house without my parents, and I really wanted to enjoy that. And whenever my mom was saying like that you are not allowed, it made me more aware of my rights, that I should be allowed, because I'm a human being after all. If the male are allowed, if the men are allowed, why not women would be allowed? And I feel that travel actually increases your outlook and brings a positive change. And I feel that I need to know more about the local people, how they live and what is the difference. So that is why I really wanted to travel.
And you already said it's not only about you, it's about we women need to travel. And so you founded a whole new project in Bangladesh. What is that?
We really realized that there are so many women who wants to travel in Bangladesh, but they don't find any female partners. And so that's why their family don't allow them to travel. So we thought about, what about we start a project named Travelers of Bangladesh, that is inspired by the group where we met, me and Corinna. So after we started this project that let women know that if they want to, they can travel with us. So we thought that it would be like 50 women or 60 women maximum. But right now we have around 52,000 women in our organization.
So how can I imagine this, your group, your homepage? Is it only to match women to travel together? Or is it more? Is it like giving them advice, maybe you said you talked about the economic problems. Like, is there a way to help them with that to go on a journey?
Basically, when we found the group, we thought that it would be social media based, but it is not social media based right now. And we thought that it would be a group where we can share information, how to go, where to go, because information is hard to find in Bangladesh, especially for a foreigner, obviously. And but after some months, the women who were like enlisted in our group, they pressurized us that, you know what, let us go somewhere together. Let us make an event and take us somewhere. It was basically like their demands. And then we started taking professional events, but in a non-profit way. I mean, our birthday is coming, 4th year anniversary is coming in November. So in this 4 years almost, we have like taken around more than 4,000 women directly in different parts of the country through 89 events. So it is also an information platform, but it is also a platform where women can go and travel directly with us.
Okay. So Karina, you're now very far away from Bangladesh again. How do you see the impact of the Travelettes of Bangladesh from your point of view?
I visited Sakia this January, and I was able to join a Travelettes of Bangladesh group as well, and it was amazing. There were so many women traveling together, women from all ages. There were the young ones, like at the age of 16, 17, but there were like older ones as well, like 60, 70, women that have already grown children that were coming with us as well. It was truly amazing. I think everyone should go and see how beautiful it is.
We have an upcoming project next year where we would go to different districts of the country and try to empower women to teach them that if they want, they can do anything they want, and they can travel outside. That is not a crime.
Good luck with that, and thank you so much for your time. Bye bye. Thank you.